Do you know anything about it, or should I just say a few verses that we did, just summarize it?
So you can summarize it, because I have not, it's been so many years now.
But you had studied it before?
I have studied not Upanishad.
Not Upanishad.
No.
Okay. So what they're saying that this Om represent that ultimate reality. So Bhagwan bolo, unko Brahman, whatever you want to call it. And the way they coined this whole symbol is there are 3 lines here, right? In the Om.
Right.
See? There is a U, and then there is a line.
This one.
So the first one is a waking state. Second one is a dream state. And then there is a deep sleep. So these are 3 experiences.
वो जो है ना वो मात्रा वो deep sleep है.
This one.
Half chand is waking. No, नहीं ये वाला first U. ये. Yeah.
ये पहला ऊपर वाला है waking state, फिर
so कोई भी मनुष्य होगा उसको 3 states हो गई. Waking state. No.
नहीं.
This is the waking, this is the dream, and this is the deep sleep.
Okay. So this is not included.
No, अभी है उसका.
Okay.
And that bindi over there, that's the Turiya state, and that represents the ultimate state which does not get affected by.
And Chand is the Maya.
Yeah, and that's the veiling of. So we don't recognize that until the Maya is gone. So that's the symbol. And then the first verse it says that Om is everything. You know, it is past, present, future. It is beyond time also. So this it has everything. Everything that you see in the world is in the Om.
And that represents by a symbol, this symbol.
Yeah. So that was the first, and then it talked about, in the subsequent verses, it talked about the waking state. That's,
what happens in the waking state?
Dream state, and they gave it name. So the waking state, they call it Vishwa. Vishwa, like the world, because we open our eyes and we see. In the dream state, they said that the body shuts down. In a sense, not the vital thing, but like we are not aware of our body. That's what it means. So the connection to the body, awareness is not there, but the mind is active in the dream state. So there is a khajana of like our memories and all that, and then the mind picks up things from there and creates another story, and we experience that. And so mind is active in the dream state, but we all know that in dream we also feel everything, right? जो भी हमने ड्रीम किया जब हम उठते हैं तब तक मैंने रसगुल्ला खाया तो वो मीठा लग रहा था मुझे. So we in the Western world they say they don't talk about it's a waking world, that's it. But these guys they have gone deep into that also. That's also an experience that we have done. And then when you go in deep sleep, the mind connection is also gone. The mind and body both we are not aware of it. So that's why they call it you're closest to that Brahman at that time, because none of that disturbance is there in your mind. So that's why you heal, you rejuvenate, and it's a bliss. When we wake up, we say, I felt so good.
Right.
Whenever we get deep sleep, because the bliss there. So that's the whole idea. Okay. So and then let me close that because I'm feeling.
Okay, let me do that.
just pull it.
At a later stage, I'll need your wire also after.
क्या चाहिए आपको?
बाद में ले लेंगे. iPhone का wire.
Oh, telephone का to this thing. Okay, just.
But I wanted to make one quick observation from the earlier things we were talking about, which was so beautiful. He talked about that certain things. How do you become steady? One of the reasons, I think one of the words you use is prosecute. These certain things, they provoke us. Provoking, something makes you very happy, and then it's a positive provocation or something negative. So it's just like in the life, there are waves, and how do the waves calm down? And when the up and down, they slowly become like this. And so what I have been trying to do is that certain things, once I recognize that things are provoking me in terms of producing an emotion, then if I can reduce the intensity. So what I think ever since I retired, what I've been thinking is that the way it is that a week after day after day, week after week, month after month, that if I can reduce the intensity of my response to things,
At least you're aware.
then what happens is the mind becomes steady.
Yeah.
And when the mind becomes steady, then it brings the calm.
Exactly. So that's what
Exactly
Krishna
what
was
they were saying.
Exactly.
It's a very beautiful.
And also that once you study these things and more you contemplate upon it, that is when it will become more firm, because the mind is such that if you don't know the deep reason why we are doing what we are doing, we won't accept it. And it will be a temporary suppression, So like in Sanskrit they call it Vivek Janya Vairagya, they call it. Vivek se jo banda hua ho. Tabi, or koi kisi ne bola ki, oh, don't eat this. And then after 2 days you will start eating it. But if you have contemplated on this is really bad for me because it will give me this, then it will be steady.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden then you create a new habit.
Yeah, and if you're now, in your case, and we should all practice that, is if you're being aware of your emotion.
Yes.
Awareness itself, then you can control it.
Exactly, but once you wake up and saying that I'm getting provoked by this, why
हम
am
तो
I
कई
getting...
लोग को सोचते भी नहीं है क्यों provoke हो रहे हैं. At least you're getting aware, so that is a good beginning,
Exactly, I think the first thing is to wake up and again आपने बोला ना that shloka was first one was so beautiful.
Yeah, and the reason we started doing that because we discussed ki are there self-realized people in this world and have I met them? So Arjun ने भी exactly वही प्रश्न पूछा और उन्होंने अर्जुन ने पूछा ऐसा इंसान कैसे behave करता है, उसका माइंड मेकअप क्या है, वो दुनिया में कैसे बिहेव करता है. तो कृष्ण भगवान ने वो लक्षण ऑफ स्थित प्रज्ञ में, किसी के माथे पे तो नहीं लिखा रहता है कि वो रियलाइज, लेकिन वो कैसे बिहेव करता है उससे हमको इंडिकेशन मिलता है कि भाई ये आदमी पहुंचा हुआ है. Because कई लोग they have bookish knowledge, they will just read and they can give big pravachans, but you see their behavior, it's still not there. But other people, they may not be book knowledge, but their behavior is sthita prajna.
Yeah.
They have already attained that state.
It's something like a dharma, and maybe we can talk about it at the end. Ki adharma Gita mein adharma kya hai na, sadharma, kudharma, and adharma. And adharma is very similar to just when you are very calm and not responding to things.
Yeah. So coming back to our this thing, I was at what stage was? I was talking about the 3 states. We already discussed that. No, we did. Did we discuss that?
We are doing part of the deep state.
Deep
No,
state.
you were
Deep state.
explaining to him about Om. The fourth
Yeah,
one
right.
you
The third state he talked about was a deep sleep, where I said that, we finished that we have a bliss over there. And then he gave the name Vishwa and याद है दूसरा वाला नाम? Tejas. Tejas is the name of the dream state. And what was the third one? Prajna. So these are the terms that will be coming, so at least you know what it is. And then I was going to say that in this Upanishad there are only 12 verses, because Upanishads are like power-packed pills. And if you just take it, we won't understand anything. So then we have all these saints who have done a lot of, पहले तो भाष्य किया उन्होंने. भाष्य is like explaining each and every word and all that. And then there are something called Karika. Karika is glossary. So Gaudapad Ji, who is the guru of Shankaracharya, did a Karika for this Upanishad. And Karika, what it does is, he takes one aspect of it and he elaborates on it because he thinks that's very important. If we don't understand, we won't understand that. So we have done 6 verses already, and now the Karika has started.
Okay.
And the first verse in the Karika, it said that, where is the main focus from where the waking state starts? So he said it's the right eye, and we discussed that. And then I gave the example that government satta is everywhere, but it is at White House, and White House also is the Oval Office. That's what it is. So when we wake up, our eye is the most important thing. Then we see the world, and then we start reacting.
And they're saying this right eye is more powerful than the left eye. Even they're saying any optician will tell you. So that's why the waking state, the right eye.
Right eye is station right eye hai.
Haan ji.
And then we started reading. Did we start reading the second? next
We
one,
have
right? The
couple
middle
of
of it.
pages more
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
And I will catch up, by the way. Okay, so I
Yeah.
don't want to slow you down. By
Yeah.
the way, please.
So no, it was a good for us
Yeah.
also. It was
We
like
get, we also
Oh,
get
okay.
revised. We always do
revision.
the revision, little bit summary, but
Yeah.
So right eye, and then you said mind, and then heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think mind हमने पढ़ना अभी
Or the
तेजस शुरू
dream
करना है
state,
हमको,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
Sneha can start reading. It's on page 50,
50. Yeah, we are on 50.
and Tejas is the dreamer. Yeah.
you got that?
Have we
Tejasya.
got?
Tejasya is the dreamer.
Yes.
The ego in the dreaming world
Yeah.
observes dreams in the mind, and naturally, the headquarters of Tejasya must be the mind itself. When the waking state ego and the dreamer lapses into the sleep state, the entire consciousness folds itself upon itself to become a homogeneous mass of awareness, prajna. The seat of prajna is explained here as the space in the heart.
That means we finished the Tejas already. Did we?
Yeah, this one I heard before.
Okay.
Yeah, the one.
Anyway,
No, we
so
don't
he's
do this
talking
one.
about Pragna also.
No, we didn't do this one. Tejasya we didn't do.
I think that Tejas को बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं बताया, ये बताया कि चलो आगे पढ़ो देखते हैं. So basically we know that in Pragna what happens, right? It becomes a homogeneous mass of awareness.
And it's in the heart.
Yeah, so now before we go, because it
Prajna
might
is in
get
the heart.
confusing,
What are we with?
Okay. that when we talk about the physical heart, that's separate from what they talk about in the spiritual heart, and I will explain that. Because physical heart, because he is a physician, the physical heart is this pumping organ, right? But if I say something like, I'm feeling this love in my heart, it's all over my body, isn't it? The reaction is all over my body. So when the spiritual heart, there is no fixed location as such. It is like a entity which pervades our entire body. Okay, and all these. So you can relate to it. What I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes,
Yes.
completely.
Completely, very good. So so but otherwise there's a
Because I can
confusion.
feel it,
When
yeah.
they say heart, they always think of this pumping organ. No, that's just a physical place that we call heart.
Yeah.
But the spiritual heart is, and all the good qualities in us comes in our heart, the spiritual heart. Because भगवान ने यही कहा ना, मैं सबके हृदय में बैठा हूँ. गीता में उन्होंने बोला. Okay? Because all these noble qualities of love, compassion, and caring, everything is in the spiritual heart. So if after understanding that, then you will get it what they're saying.
Like the nadis are not physical.
Right, there you go.
So heart is actually ahead of us, in front of us, and its consciousness is part of that heart. So that kind of covers the whole body. Yeah.
This is an instance where modern biologists get shocked by the seemingly false statements made by the great rishis. But they must understand that the rishis of old were not in any sense of the term so ignorant as we understand them to be. They had their own complete knowledge of the anatomy of man, and almost all the known sciences of the West were certainly known to them. There are ample proofs in the great Upanishads to show that they knew even the gravitational force and 100 other seemingly new scientific discoveries of the West. And yet, if they say of something in the heart space, it is not because they did not understand that even a bubble of air in the heart would kill the man. They did not mean at all the literal sense of the space in the heart.
So now that's what he's talking about, that don't take it a literal sense, and now he'll explain what it is.
You want to continue, Joe?
No, you do next.
Okay.
Heart
Yeah.
Actually,
Heart stands for the seat of
Yeah, heart. Heart stands for the seat of the human and the divine qualities in man. Heart is the seat of sentiments, emotions, and the softer feelings such as kindness, love, and mercy, while the head is set of logic and reason.
is the seat of logic and reason.
Yeah, is the seat of logic and reason. The great rishis of old considered that the seat of true intellect is in the heart space. By saying so, they only meant that the reasoning capacity in man must bubble up from an atmosphere of scintillating love, jovial tolerance, and kindly patience. So essentially, heart should be driving rather than the brain.
I think it's like a balance.
Yeah,
So if you have only emotions, you will have a lopsided problem.
right.
If you have only intellect, then he's going to say what's going to happen. So it is, that's why, even the Bhagavad Gita is entire thing about balance.
Balance. Yeah.
Yeah,
And even
that's
bhakti
Santana.
and gyan, you need both. You cannot say, I'll just go by gyan, I'll just go by bhakti. It
Santana.
has to be
Yeah.
balanced. That's what it means.
A pure intellect devoid of the qualities of the heart is considered not only in the East but in the West too as a villainous and killing instrument. Such a pure intellect, a data mongering, fact hunting intellect, negative and uncultured intellect in all its brutal violence, is a soul killing self poison.
I think he made his point, right? By
Yeah.
very strong language.
Yeah.
If it's only logic and reason, then this is what's going to happen, huh?
If the poison in a serpent is not killing the serpent, it is because it is well protected and kept in the sacs called the fangs. It is syringed out only where the serpent teeth have bitten through, or else the every very poison would have killed the serpent itself. Similarly, unless the great discrimination faculties in men, the pure reasoning and the logical faculties are well clothed in the sack of the heart, his own intellect would be his own destruction.
So let's stop here for a second.
Right.
So he explained it very well about the poison. But do we have example of this in this world? Somebody like Hitler and all that. Don't they say he was a genius?
Genghis Khan also.
Genghis Khan and all
Yeah.
that. These guys were genius, but
Nadir Shah.
उनका spiritual heart ही develop नहीं था.
Yeah.
तो
They
क्या
were-
किया उन्होंने? Destruction
नहीं तो
किया
अपने
ना.
अभी प्रेजेंट में तो आइसिस है ना.
हाँ, exactly. It's like, so this is just, we can see the example कि only intellect, because ये अपना जिसको मारा अभी उसने, क्या नाम था उसका, the terrorist, बहुत जिसने
Bin
वो
Laden.
Osama. I heard he was a genius. तभी तो उसने
हाँ,
without
yeah.
any weapons and all, how he destroyed those 2 buildings and he killed more people than in battlefield. Guy was a genius, but totally like lopsided.
Yeah.
They call it jihad, and I heard the actual meaning of jihad is,
You have to fight between good and bad in your own heart.
it's a spiritual, it's like a yoga.
Yeah.
It's connecting with God through your actions, and he
The
they-
jihad is your own thing, whether what you're fighting.
exactly. But what do they made it into? Killing people.
Yeah.
How can a God who's going to be happy when you kiss me?
No religion tends to kill you.
So this is I thought
They're
that's-
not even true to the religion.
But that is what is.
But I think this paragraph says that we almost all of us have the destructive powers.
Yeah.
all of us do.
And as long as we keep
Them
under control,
Yeah.
and
It's more control, meaning it has to be, reasoning power is very important to because otherwise we won't know what is right, what's wrong. But only that can become a killing machine. But it has to be soaked in that.
Yeah, I think our own
But
education
most
system.
of the terrorists are men, so they have more control. Is
Do you know they
required on
use
their
women
part.
too? Women
Yeah,
hide
yeah.
their thing. You didn't hear that?
Very
Yeah.
few, but
That's
They are
true.
there.
yeah.
Because men का reason ज़्यादा
See, I'll
होता
tell
है.
you what is happening is when we were all young, we were all growing up with stories good and bad. Moral science was taught to us in school. But now in the education system, moral science is gone.
right.
Parents have no time to tell the children stories of good and bad. So they're not growing up with moral ethics. The society has
Because
that.
don't
they
know what
destroyed
are-
our
Especially the
Indian
Muslims,
education.
their young children are going into the madrasas where they teach them hatred. Now, in fact, Muslims, right thinking Muslims are saying no child should go to the madrasa till he's 12-year-old, till he can think about himself. So now the Muslims are waking up to the fact that they shouldn't be sent. And
I
more
think
Muslims make noise.
आप बता रहे थे ना कि women and men, it is so true that women have a discriminating power, and they have instincts. They don't
Want
use
to kill, yeah.
and so kill
The protection
in most
instinct ज़्यादा होती
everything.
है
Because
women में.
they are nurturing kids
Yeah.
and all that.
Well, but
so
in
that-
most everything, when you
it is
think of
inherent
it,
in them.
no, they are in reality. And so what happened is that what they say is that women would perhaps make the best leaders
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
they
the
do.
in the
People
world.
think like that.
But we are not. We are not
The
really
men have
tapping.
physical strength, they are putting down women for ages.
Yeah.
See, like, they wouldn't let Hillary go up because a lot of men, they don't want any woman.
But coming back to our Vedic culture,
Yeah.
it's given equal importance.
Yeah, and
Yes.
goddesses and all, because they are Indian gods and goddesses.
Or whatever got destroyed was by the West, and even the education system that you're talking
Yeah,
about,
but
the traditional education system was Gurukul, where they taught them the spiritual part and the worldly part
Yeah.
together. So when they came out, when they were 18, whatever, 20, they knew the Vedas and they knew what to do. So then they had balance.
Yeah.
And now, even I feel like, oh my God, if I had learned this before, I would be a different person. I started learning only in my 30s. If I had learned when I was 10 years old, it would be a different story,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, if a child, you can teach many things, but
Yeah.
later on, they don't want to learn.
Yeah, but the Shakti के बात करें ना, तो the Shakti in our culture is associated with women. Amba,
Yeah,
Ma,
yeah.
Yeah.
meaning that the Sarvavyapi Shakti. Shakti is associated
With female
with
energy.
Devi, not female god, not male god. And there is a reason behind that. Maybe it will come.
Yeah, it
come
might
to
come.
that.
This is pretty comprehensive. But basically, I think the important thing is that they both balance each other. And even in all the Puranic stories and all, when the Devi got out of control, Shankar had to come. Then she calmed down. When Shankar gets all enraged, then Devi has to come. So they both together can run this world by itself. Nobody can. And that is an important thing to know. And I think this head and heart, it's the same concept.
Yeah.
That it has to be balanced with each other.
Yeah. You want to continue, Siri?
Yeah, I can continue. Yeah. This is exactly what is also the cause for all the ills of the world today. At the expense of the heart, the head has overgrown, and we try to readjust ourselves in our domestic, social, cultural, and economic fields by plans worked out merely by the intellect. We try to live on the intellect alone, without a heart, and therefore, with the best of our efforts, we are failing to find out the ideal pattern in which we can all live very happily and grow to a greater culture within an atmosphere of peace and understanding. What I think is that the understanding, we are from the biological and the medical viewpoint, all the processes that we talk today, from the beginning until now, they are processed by the brain actually. Heart has nothing to do with it from physically. So I believe that historically, the way heart was came into picture is because when you are very calm, when you practice savasana and dead man pose, the only thing you can experience or feel is the heart. Your mind, the processes in the mind are not felt. Felt in the sense you can't hear them. But heart, you can hear it pumping. And the only thing in Shavasana that I end up hearing is
your
my
heartbeat.
my heartbeats. My heartbeats. And so perhaps I don't know what the historical reason is, but they're talking about here the heart and mind. One is associated with peace, the other is associated with understanding.
Okay, this is what I would say is, one is this physical heart, right? And then we talked about the spiritual heart with all these feelings come. Because we cannot pinpoint in the heart kahan par hai feeling, right? But we know that the physical heart does get affected by the spiritual heart. And for example, when we feel like when we are teenagers and you fall in love, all of a sudden your heart starts pumping fast. We get scared. Fear causes heart rhythm to change. So that is the connection. So here he's talking about the spiritual heart, and what you are saying is the physical heart. Unka bhi relationship hai. That all the emotions, the physical heart को
Also
सबसे
gets
पहले होता है.
affected, yeah.
सबसे पहले होता है.
Ram Bhagwan ka dekho na, when he got into shock and he died because he heard that Ram had to go to exile.
Oh, you mean
shock.
Dashrath?
Dashrath. Yeah,
Dashrath.
right.
So that's the, I would say, is the connection between the spiritual heart and the pumping heart. Okay, the last two paragraphs, maybe I'll just finish that.
Okay. Okay.
Here Gaudapada points out that the pure awareness or consciousness is in the heart space, meaning that it is to be realized when we dwell into the intellect, samosad or puffed in the heart.
What we hear when we dwell into an intellect. Samosa.
Some mean जैसे
Puffed in the heart.
कि अंदर वो है मसाला, ऊपर से फिर वो, तो वो कह रहे हैं कि जो heart है, जो अपना intellect है, उसको समोसे की तरह अंदर intellect है, ऊपर से उसको coating ये सब की दो.
Yeah, अंदर the consciousness है.
Well, yeah, or you can say it that way too. That's fine, Basically, it's like together, And another very, very, very
Together what?
important
Heart
in my
space
is that,
and what is up to together?
yeah,
Heart space and what else? Intellect.
intellect. But here, what he's saying, that pure awareness or consciousness is in the heart space. So that's why I said कि जब भी हमको कोई noble qualities bubble होती है हमारी, तो वो उस heart space से निकलती है, and that is reflection of the pure consciousness.
Here they're also calling the pure consciousness the intellect or what? What is it?
Well, it's a purified intellect, you can call it. Remember I gave the mirror ka example? That mirror, when it is dirty, it's reflecting very bad image of sun. But suppose if the mirror is totally clean, now imagine your intellect is pure, and that's why they call it, I think another word they use is pragna, pure intellect. जिसमें कोई राग द्वेष ये सब कुछ नहीं है, काम क्रोध लोभ मोह, the 6 dirts that we have, our mind is all purified. So realized soul में वैसा ही होता है.
Right.
Their intellect is like a clean mirror, and the God is reflecting as though it is God, right? So
And this reading is like
Cleaning.
every other day or every week you try to go ahead and wipe the mirror clean a little bit, so it becomes less dirty.
Yeah.
I would compare this to, like, this is like a cloth in the hand, and cleaning is like our mananam.
Right.
When we are churning because खाली पढ़ के नहीं होगा, वो घर में जाके सोचना पड़ेगा उसको. और हमारे action में we have to, like, you are practicing, okay, now I have to do, in the center, I don't have to be up and down. That is like practicing.
Right.
So these 3 locations of the 3 egos are detailed here only for the purpose of meditation. Every new initiate would certainly demand for a definite spot to meditate upon. So remember we discussed why he did the karikas, because he had his own students, Gaudapada, and he had to give certain indications to them. So these are meditational practice. And I think that if you go in they do tell you to focus on the heart, and there are different practices, right?
Yeah.